CDC lays out some troubling information late today. They say not only are they not quite sure of the scope of Ebola symptoms, they also think the infected nurse that was in Ohio may have had symptoms before she even landed in Cleveland. Let's go straight to Cleveland, where 9 on your side's Evan Millward was at that CDC news conference.
Evan, some troubling information coming out of the CDC late today.
So what this really boils down to is that more people may have had contact with that infected Dallas nurse, Amber Vinson, than originally thought. That is coming from the head of a 5-person CDC team that's now here in Northeast Ohio. That information just released in the last hour and a half or so here at the State Building in downtown Akron. Now, the CDC is saying it may even have to change what symptoms it classifies as Ebola symptoms, changing some of the temperature levels and such. And now tonight it is reaching out to the passengers on Vinson's first flight from Dallas to Cleveland on Friday night. Listen in.
So this new information now is saying we need to go back now to the flight that she took on Friday the 10th and include them in our investigation of contacts. So that's something that's happened today. Now, I don't anticipate really that we're going to go back before then, but we're looking for new information all the time. We're talking with many people who may have been around her and talking with her when we can. Our information is that she's actually not very well at this point, and so we have to be judicious in what we ask. But
And a couple other new things coming out of that news conference. Now local health investigators want to hear from anyone who was at the Coming Attractions bridal shop in Talmadge. That is where Vincent spent a couple of hours on Saturday. They're looking for anyone who was there from the hours of noon to 3. They've also raised the number of people they're calling contacts. It went from 1 last night to 7 earlier. We told you at noon. Now it's at 8. They say that's because they're now adding a child as a contact out of an abundance of caution. Now, before anyone gets anxious, I do want to clarify, none of these people are sick. These contacts don't show symptoms. It is just people who had contact with the victim. 8 of them are being monitored by health investigators right now. And we talked about that child. There's now another school that will be closed for the rest of the week into next week. That's here in Akron, and that story with reaction is coming up for you at 6. Until then, we're live in downtown Akron. Evan Millward, 9 on your side.
Evan, thanks so much. So once again, folks, here's what we know right now. The CDC believes the nurse who visited Cleveland may have had symptoms before she boarded a plane in Dallas to come to Cleveland. The nurse on board that flight through Ohio is now being treated at an Atlanta hospital. The CDC now admitting they're not fully sure what the symptoms are for Ebola and are, quote, still learning about the symptoms.
To handle the concerns of Ohio residents, the CDC and the Ohio Department of Health set up a hotline for anyone who wants answers about Ebola. The hotline is open 24/7. Medical professionals are prepared to answer any questions you might have about Ebola. Since it opened last night, more than 550 people have called.